What's up people, today we are going to take a look at a very interesting gaming chair by ACGAM. This is what it's supposed to look like. Now the interesting thing about this one is that it's a gaming chair but at the same time also an office chair. It's kind of a hybrid, you could say. Its proper name is actually CG5455M. The thing is, nowadays you never see something like this on Amazon. Usually they just call them something like this: ergonomic office chair, ergonomic test winner, lumbar support, and so on and so on. Basically they just do this to hit all the keywords. The test winner thing also really caught my attention here because I assumed it did win some kind of test, so I did some quick research on Google and to be honest I was not able to find anything. So what kind of test did it win? Well, I guess this will forever remain a mystery. Nah, I think they just did it to hit the keywords properly. Anyway, this chair costs around 200 euros right now and the only color available is black. It's supposed to look more like an office chair than a gaming chair, but looking at the seat part and the armrests, it's a typical gaming chair design. So it is an interesting combination, of course, and it's also supposed to have quite a lot of adjustment possibilities, like the headrest, for example. 4G adjustable lumbar support. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because the woman on this picture, the way she is sitting, her back is not supported at all, yeah. Why don't you sit properly? But yes, let's not talk too much about the presentation here. Let's just unbox the thing and see what it can do in real. And here is the box. Ergonomic gaming office chair. As mentioned, it's supposed to be a hybrid, best of both worlds. It's also supposed to be quite light, 31.5 lbs. That's around 14 kilos. The assembly is no big deal, of course. If you have assembled a gaming chair or an office chair, as a matter of fact, in the past, then you should not have any problems here. We have a nice set of tools, everything is labeled, including the spare parts, which is very useful, of course. I do not want to wonder why I have a couple of screws left in the end. There is a lot of packaging material though, so yes, it takes a while to take everything out. One thing about the screws though, there are no springs or washers. This is something I like to point out. The screws, however, have this texture here, so they are self-locking, so there should be no problems with that. Because I had the thing with some cheaper chairs I had in the past where the screws got loose over time and I had to tighten them again. And this is what it looks like when it's finally assembled. I have to say, on first glance it looks kinda smaller than on the pictures, but it's actually quite a good size. For my 180 it's definitely enough. And it is indeed really comfortable. The armrests, for example, are way more comfortable than they look like. They look like they are made of plastic, but in reality they are somewhat foamy, but at the same time quite sturdy, so they are not too soft. They actually do remind a little bit of gym cushions. They are also adjustable. Well, you can adjust the height, but you cannot spin them or anything like that. What makes this chair somewhat unique is the adjustable headrest. Because usually on gaming chairs, at least the ones I had before, the headrest was always solid, and here you can adjust it in two ways. You can adjust the angle a little bit and also the height. This is definitely a big plus point. Other than that, we have this typical adjustment of the backrest. This is nothing special. Basically there are two levers. One is to adjust the height of the whole chair and the other one is to lock the backrest. This chair does not, however, have a rocking motion like most gaming chairs do. So you can obviously adjust the backrest back and forth, but the chair itself remains solid. And another really unique thing this chair has is the adjustment of this lower back part. This is the 4D thing they mentioned in the description. So basically with this you can move this lower back part back and forth by spinning on this handle over here, or you can also adjust the height of it by moving it up and down, basically the same as the headrest. And this is basically already everything there is to say about this chair. Well, one advantage in my opinion is that since it's a hybrid chair, it does not have a solid back as most gaming chairs have. It has this mesh thing, and this is going to be quite an advantage in summer when it's hot, because it's breathable and that way your back won't get as hot as with a regular gaming chair. This mesh is obviously also quite flexible. It's not made of metal or anything, it's made out of fabric, which makes it flexible of course, and that way it is also quite comfortable to sit on it, but at the same time it feels quite strong and I don't think it will break sooner than a regular gaming chair. And speaking of sturdiness, this chair is supposed to support up to 136 kilos. So what will happen if I weigh 137 kilos? Will it explode? In other words, as usual, we are obviously doing a weight test. Okay, Well, that's obviously only 40 kilos, plus my 80, a total of 120. Obviously I did not want to push it over the limit, but as you can see, this here, yeah, this is not a problem for it. So in conclusion, at first I was a bit skeptical about this whole hybrid concept. I was worried that this mesh back part, that it would just not be as comfortable as a regular gaming chair, simply because it's thin and totally different from a cushion on a regular gaming chair. But when I first sat down into this, yeah, I was positively surprised. It is really damn comfortable. I also like all the adjustment possibilities it has. It actually gives it a bit more of an edge compared to a regular gaming chair. Here is also a little comparison to my old ass gaming chair, which I still own for some reason. The only thing that is kinda missing is the armrest. It would be cool if they were also spinnable. But other than that, it's a really cool gaming chair and I actually do recommend it. So, if you want to have one of those, the good thing is we also have a discount code for this. That way you can get it 10% cheaper. So, if you want one of those, use the discount code and the link in the description below and get your own chair by ACGAM. And other than that, thank you all for watching and see you around in many more future videos.